I'm gonna tell y'all right now, man, if y'all are looking at this trailer and you've seen these movies and you expecting to see, a bunch of monsters, do not, just stop right now. If that's what you want to see, you just want to see a bunch of, you want to see WrestleMania with giant creatures and shit?
Turn around.
If you want to see a bunch of creatures and kaiju and giant monsters just beating the shit out of each other and blowing up buildings, stop right now, turn around and do something better with your time. I ain't saying this is good or bad, but I'm just saying that's not what you're getting right here. I can tell you that first episode, you saw the clip in the trailer. You saw a shot. That first episode, because you're like, oh shit, here come Godzilla. Godzilla got about 30 seconds in that first episode, and this is it right here. You said you better enjoy what you see right here, right now, because you ain't getting none of me for another episode or two. We're going to be at the Broadway Comedy Club again. Let's go ahead and get into one of the main things that we got to talk about today. Halloween is almost upon us. We are in a Halloween month right now. Figure it'll be very appropriate to talk about some of these monsters over here. And you don't get any bigger than, look, I know y'all thinking about, Dracula and Frankenberry and all everything, but that's cool. But the biggest of the big. The biggest of the big. We just talking about size. You don't get no bigger than the king of the monsters out there, Godzilla. God damn. They say here, people can't get enough of Godzilla. And Godzilla comes in many flavors and many forms and many phases of his life. Depends on when you catch him.
True.
Sometimes
he's a friend.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes he's a foe.
Let me ask you this.
Sometimes he don't give a shit about you.
Do you remember, I'm gonna ask y'all this too. Do y'all remember when everyone was cheering Godzilla on in that 2014 movie? Because he was out there saving innocent people from that big bad monster, or those big bad monsters that showed up. Y'all remember that? Talking about, oh man, he cool. Godzilla's friends of all the innocents out there. Yeah, he killed some innocent people too.
Yes, he did.
He didn't mean to, just didn't get.
Who are you to me?
Yeah, as much as we want to make him a hero, he ain't. He's just he ain't no villain either. He ain't coming out to really hurt nobody. He's a big ass dude who just walks where he wants to walk and don't give a shit.
He's the enemy of my enemy. That's the best you can say.
Or you could say, like I said, just don't give a shit. He's the equivalent of your couch. I don't want to I mean to put it that way, but don't care. Yeah, he's like somebody. He's just a force to be reckoned with, man. Like he stands up to bullies, right?
Sure.
But not because he really cares about you, just because he just wants to fight.
You might have someone who's targeting you specifically, and he will attack them.
He will attack them.
Like I said, he's the enemy of my enemy, but he ain't my friend.
No, thanks for the help. You threw a brick through my car window, punched my girlfriend, and killed my dog. But you got my back though, back there. I appreciate it. This awkward position of needing something that can destroy and devastate a whole city is what is explored in this new series that they have out now called Monarch Legacy of Monsters, where if you've been watching all these Godzilla and King Kong movies that we have recently, that there's the mysterious Monarch organization behind some of this stuff, trying to figure out this new world of gods and monsters and titans and kajus and all that out there. And now it's a show. Now Monarch got their own show on Apple TV. I saw 3 episodes. You saw 5. Because again, they sent it to me late. And we're going to tell you what this is like. Because some people are saying, look, man, everybody's here to watch Godzilla, that goddamn monkey, and some of these other creatures out here. Ain't nobody out here trying to hang out with Monarch. That's the most boring part of everything. Or is it? Let's go ahead and watch this trailer for the new Apple Plus show, and we'll be back with our review.
Monarch was there. He said,
what's this man singing in the background? It's like, man, it's like a man back that lounge singing.
If I didn't care.
I like, we talking about Godzilla. This is the old man scat singing back there.
I know, man, but it's better than taking a 90s song and slowing it down. Trying to make it creepy.
Godzilla.
This is gonna give me nightmares. Now you can choke down that Monarch lie.
Godzilla attacking again. Oh, he's bad. Oh, here come King Kong. I can only speak for the first 3 episodes. And when you're 3 episodes into a series, you should be able to know what you're getting into. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, man, if y'all are looking at this trailer and you've seen these movies and you expecting to see, a bunch of monsters, do not, just stop right now. If that's what you want to see, you just want to see a bunch of, you want to see WrestleMania with giant creatures and shit.
Turn around.
If you want to see a bunch of creatures and kaiju and giant monsters just beating the shit out of each other and blowing up buildings, stop right now, turn around and do something better with your time. I ain't saying this is good or bad, but I'm just saying that's not what you're getting right here. I can tell you that first episode, you saw the clip in the trailer. You saw a shot. That first episode, because you're like, oh shit, here come Godzilla. Godzilla got about 30 seconds in that first episode, and this is it right here. You better, you said you better enjoy what you see right here, right now, because you ain't getting none of me for another episode or 2. He uses time well. In that 30 seconds that he's there, he does something. So,
yeah.
Not that he meant to, again.
But he don't care.
He just don't give a shit. But in that 30 seconds, though, he used it well. If you want to see Godzilla tear up some shit and let me tell you something. He does something really messed up right here. And what this does is this sets up that these really are these creatures. They really are just a force to be dealt with. They're not, with the exception of your boy King Kong, who will sit back and and let you know, yeah, I'm your friend. All these other creatures don't give a shit, man.
Yeah. This would be as if the ants whose hill you knocked over had a TV show about you.
Yeah, exactly. This is something where they set up like this world, along with natural disasters like hurricanes, tornadoes, whatever else you have, earthquakes, the creatures now have been added to the list. Yeah. Kaiju have been added to the list. And we just have to figure out how to deal with it. But for those of you who thought Godzilla was a hero, no, Godzilla just don't give a f. That's all. But if this isn't about Godzilla, this isn't about the creatures and the kaijus and the monsters and all kind of stuff, then what the hell are we watching then? Well, so as I told you, this is more about the Monarch organization, hence the name, the title. And this centers more on human stories. And, I think when you do that, I think that this is the perfect combo. When you're telling these human stories here with about the Monarch organization, everybody gets wrapped up with them. I think that it's the perfect combination of big budget, spectacle-driven special effects films and streaming TV shows that are more story-driven. Because when you go watch Godzilla or Skull Island, those things are centered on, the CG effects. They're centered on showing you the monsters. They're centered on showing you, the fights and the destruction and all that kind of stuff. You get a little bit of that in the show, but they're more interested in telling you how this world came together. Because when you watch these movies, people just kind of like, well, where the this thing just come from all of a sudden?
Sure. And with the movies, they spend so little developing the characters that when you're seeing the people, you're kind of like, can we move past this to get to the monsters? That's the more interesting part. As opposed to the show where the people are the more interesting part.
Yeah. It's a trade-off really. You get the best. If you want to see the spectacle, you go see the big budget movies. If you want to see, the human stories that are being told, the world building, the character building, then that's why you watch the show right here. And I'll tell you, man, I think watching this series and saying that it's the perfect combination of movies, joining forces with a TV show and hitting the real sweet spot to tell a full story. I think that this does a good job at that. I think it does a good job at world building. You know, the first episode drops you in Japan in 2015. And that's about a year after the events that happened in the first
Godzilla movie.
And
well, it first starts you off with John Goodman from Skull Island.
Oh, you know what? I guess I didn't get that part. I think I started when I think I started after that because it just when it started for me, it just started after the credits.
Okay.
So I probably didn't see that part.
Okay, yeah, because it opens with him, and that's all like leading into Skull Island. But then it jumps to 2015 with everything that happens in the first Godzilla movie, like the aftermath of the first Godzilla movie.
Well, with Japan, you know, we pick up a year after that 2014 film, and you know, Japan is living with the just deal with it attitude.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere you go, there's a damn Godzilla crossing sign, you know, like Godzilla just cross the street at any moment. You know, everywhere you look, there's a no Godzilla sign. They have an emergency system built in just in case Godzilla decides to, I don't know, go for a walk. You know, it just decides to go for a stroll one day, which as we know, would just tear up the whole city. And from there, at that point, the show starts to fill in gaps where the movies couldn't or they just didn't want to fill. You know, they're showing you how the world adjusted to these giant kaijus that are around, you know, that are coming and going as they please. Because as I said, it just seemed to just happen spontaneously in the movies.
Yeah, they can't predict where those things are going to pop up.
Yeah, or it just seemed like when you're watching those movies, like, okay, so giant creatures just popped up out of nowhere all of a sudden. You know, with the movies, with the TV show, that's what they're exploring, though. Those are the gaps that they're filling in. You know, they're giving you a long history of what has been going on with these creatures. Mm-hmm. You know, and an organization that is trying to figure out how to either stop them or keep them in check, or how to use them.
Sure, because they are basically natural disasters. It might as well be an earthquake.
Yeah. And it turns out
which we are living with right now. So there's a reference to that.
Oh, yeah. No, it turns out that giant monsters have a long history, longer than we probably realized just from watching the movies. You know, and the thing that the show does that I thought was actually kind of cool to handle well was, so they flip between two time periods mainly in this. So the show opens up in 2015, as I said right here, and opens up with this girl named Kate Randa, and there she is. Oh no, that's her grandmother there. See if I can find a still of her. There she is. There she is talking about all. That's her right there. She goes to Tokyo to try to take care of her dad's final affairs. He's dead.
Yeah, he got killed in all this that happened.
Yeah, and she finds out that there's a lot more to him, a lot more than she wanted to know. And I'll tell you what, at the beginning, Godzilla is the least of it. Right. I ain't gonna say what it is. I'll just say dad was up to some pimpery, you know. That's her looking at her dad. It's just the Godzilla. She's like, what the hell were you doing? You know, and also dad is somehow involved in the shady organization Monarch. So, you know, that pulls her in along with two other people into these monster shenanigans that we got going on. In between that, you got another storyline that happens where you go to the 1950s, I believe.
Yeah. And
during the 1950s, that's where we start to see the beginnings of the Monarch organization. And you have a Lieutenant Lee Shaw, who's assigned to this doctor. There she is right there, Dr. Kiko. And she's over there exploring in the jungle over in Japan, some strange radioactive readings, which we all know whenever we ever got radioactive in Japan, it mean mutant creatures and giant monsters over there. What I thought was cool about this is that they cut between these two periods like they happened at the same time.
I know.
And
it threw me off.
See, I thought that they did a good job at that because I thought at first I was going to be confused by it because they'll cut from the 1950s and cut back to 2014. In fact, they'll show 2014 and then cut to the 1950s within being like, meanwhile. And it's like, no, man, that was decades before.
Yeah.
But wasn't confusing to me. I was surprised at how well they were able to handle that, man. Did you find that confusing for you?
It threw me in the beginning, and then I was like, okay, I get what's going on. And I think what threw me is that the doctor, I forget her name, Kiko. Yeah, there's something about her that doesn't feel like she's from that 50s time period.
Yeah,
and so that's what was really throwing me off. I mean, like the other two soldiers, the Navy guy and the Army guy, the one played by Wyatt Russell. They felt like they were from, like, maybe their dress and all, but her and her manner didn't feel like she was from the 1950s. So that's what was throwing. She felt more modern. But once I connected what was happening, I was like, okay, I'm with it.
Yeah, no, it didn't seem too confusing to me. At first, I thought it would be for some people, but it's not. They go through it pretty easy. I thought they did some great casting in here. Some of you know that if you've been keeping up with this, you know that Kurt Russell's in here, and also Wyatt Russell, and they are playing the same character. Kurt Russell playing an older version of him. I thought the casting was perfect. Now, it's so perfect that they didn't give a shit if it made sense or not, because I'll tell you what happened here. So for Kurt, now if you're taking, this character from the 1950s up until 2015, which is where we're picking up now. They actually say it in the series. They say that one character looks at Kurt Russell and says, you have to be at least 90 years old. And Kurt Russell, this is their excuse. Kurt Russell looks at the camera and says, oh, well, I got some good genes. And then they just laugh that shit off like it's nothing.
Okay, so they're alluding to more. Like there's something.
So I haven't caught the other two episodes.
Yeah. They still don't say what it is, but they still allude to like there's something that's going to playing with time and all this in there.
Because this dude is like, damn, he look good for 90.
Right. It's an interesting thing, casting, the father and son to play the same character at different time periods. Yeah. It's funny because to see Wyatt Russell and go like, oh, he's Kurt Russell's son, you go like, oh yeah, I see the resemblance. He could totally, they look just alike. But then having him on screen playing the same character, it's very obvious. Like, you know what? They don't look that much alike. And if anything, their manner is so different. Like Wyatt, one, is much taller, but also Wyatt Russell, just himself, even though he's playing other characters, he still kind of slides back into kind of a slacker surfer dude kind of way he talks. And Kurt Russell is complete opposite of that.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you, I thought he looked just like Kurt Russell. To me.
I mean, I think they favor, but Wyatt just reminds me of our friend Kyle Scott every time. And I was just like, I'm gonna buy it because it's here and they look enough alike. But
so I'm gonna tell you, there's a shot where they have Kurt Russell. Because they're so proud that they got them both.
I know.
They have a shot where they have Kurt Russell and he's just looking right at the camera. I said, why are you looking at the camera so long? They did it so he could just crossfade into Wyatt Russell. Wyatt Russell cross. Yeah, it was Kurt Russell crossfade into the younger Wyatt Russell, and it was funny because they made him even have the same expressions. They told Kurt Russell, put your bottom lip out a little bit. Stand up there and look mean. And when it crossed on Wyatt Russell, he was like. So I was like, damn, okay, maybe because they're making the same face or whatever, but I was like, shit, they look exactly alike to me. And I could actually take Kurt Russell being smaller because he's 90 years old. He's shrunk.
He's shrunk.
Yeah, he shrunk a little bit. So
it doesn't convince me that they're the same person.
I bought it, but obviously you did not. Yeah. You're more scrutinizing than me. Apparently you make the same face like, wow, they're the same. When watching this, I would say that not all the storylines work for me. I'm not gonna tell you who, I'll leave it a surprise for you, but they got two main characters that have a romantic past in here. And one of them, feels that the other one did them wrong and they start arguing and, bickering with each other. I'm like, y'all take that shit somewhere else. I don't want to hear this between y'all. This is just.
There's been a thing that I've seen in a lot of shows lately, a trend that I don't care for. And that is the angry black girlfriend who is actually more of a problem. Like back with Invincible, that was a thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of here. And I saw something else recently, and I was like, y'all got to get off this.
Yeah, I just don't have time for romance in this anyway. It's like this, unless it just plays a part later into the story, because maybe it will. I haven't seen it.
Oh no, they actually. Okay, well you'll see.
But it doesn't play a bigger role.
One of the later episodes, it kind of goes into things.
Okay,
so
I can. Okay, well,
it softens it.
Okay, as long as they lead into something, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the thing, you know, when that's the problem when you don't watch the whole series, you know, you don't know where things are going to go. You can only go by what you've seen.
Yeah.
Originally, they only gave us 3 episodes. You saw the 2 that they gave us recently. So, you know, only going by what I'm able to see. But right now, that would be a criticism. But if all this stuff leads to something in the story, then that's fine.
I'm not saying, like, from what I've seen from the 2 episodes that come afterwards, I don't think that you'll be satisfied, but it will soften it some.
Okay. I will say, too, that, you know, first 3 episodes, light on creatures, but we already established that that's kind of the point here. But I will say this, you are guaranteed, just in case you want to come here for the creatures, you are guaranteed 1 monster, at least per episode.
Yeah.
At least 1. You know, so they, you know, it's almost like they know you're looking for 1. So they'll be like, you know, and that's the thing about this. Like, you're guaranteed to get at least 1. Sometimes it feels like they just putting it in there because they know you want it. They're like, all right, you know, here goes some monsters. Now shut the you know,
yeah, like they had a focus group who were like, no monsters, I'm ready to turn the channel. Wait, here you go.
And I will tell you this, it feels like they just put it in there because you want it. And look, they got to. I'll be mad they don't put any monsters in there. But I'll say that they for the limited time, at least in the first 3 episodes that I saw where they did not have too many creatures in there, too many monsters, when they did put them in there, they put them in there at a good spot. And a lot of times they put them in there at a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Like they'll have something come up and looks like it's about to tear shit up. You're like, oh, goddamn, how's he gonna get out of this one? Or, oh, shit, he gonna kill everybody.
Yeah.
Or that person's completely dead. They gotta be. But, you know, are they really? You know, they end on some good cliffhangers here, man.
It's the same monster for episodes 3 and 4.
You know, they try to keep these, when the monsters do come in, they try to make them part of the story. So, and they put them at a good cliffhanger is a good spot. And nice variety. You know, at least for the first 3 episodes I saw, it's like having, you know, dangerous ass Pokemons come up with different powers.
You know what? That is that feeling.
Because they all got different powers.
They got different powers, yeah.
Yeah, they all got like somebody threw an egg down one of the Pokeballs.
Yeah.
And like,
oh, Charizard, shit.
I mean, because the moment they show up, it's like those monsters. They say the first thing they have to do is show me what you got. You know, the first thing they do is like, look at this shit right here, and they end up killing somebody or blowing up a lot of things or tearing up a lot of stuff. So they immediately show you their powers, man. Yeah, it's you know, so it's not. It might be light, but I think as the show goes on, they give you more and more.
Well, it is one where you just need to know off the bat that you're not going to get a lot of it's not the monster show. Yeah. But I do think what they have with the characters is interesting enough. At least it was holding my interest. Yeah. Because with the daughter going to take care of her dad's affairs in Tokyo and the big, you know, thing that happens there, I was like, oh shit, I'm hooked into just this right here. That's a messed up situation.
Man, there's a moment where this show is a soap opera. And I usually say that as a criticism. No. And before any creature stuff happens, they got some soap opera shit going on. Dad was doing some bullshit. It's like, wow, man. I'm like, wait a minute. Godzilla, hold on, man.
We're going to let you tell the city, but I got to focus on this right now.
I'll get you in a minute, man. Let me see what Dad was up to. Say, hey, wait, hold on. But yeah, man, I was like, damn. Yeah. I had to figure out how because it's very awkward what happens, and it pulls you right in. But
and normally when I have the sassy, belligerent, you know, young people, I'm like, but I was like, okay, y'all have earned this, right?
No, they did. I see the thing with this. If you come in here to watch creatures that, you know, beat each other, if you come in here to watch Skull Island and the you know, Godzilla versus King Kong or any of that, you know. Okay, can't blame you for that. Can't blame people for that at all.
Not at all.
I would say that, you know, give this a chance. Because for me, I have a big appreciation for what they're doing here. You know, because listen, I'm going to tell you something, man. What they're doing here is what a lot of people who try to do this mess up on royally. So they're building a universe here. They established that from the beginning. You know, they say, all this is going to interconnect. Now, after going through this period of superhero movies where everybody's just slapping shit together, even Marvel today, you know, for the sake of just building out their world, or building a universe and making it bigger, because that's where we're at right now. Either they're trying to build a universe and have nothing in place, have no foundation, or they're trying to expand the universe and they're just adding on shit without really making sense. I can say that I have a big appreciation for this because it does feel like, all right, we said we're going to build a universe. We know we can't really do it with all the movies right here. We know what people come to see in the movies. Let's take this TV show and slowly and carefully start to flesh things out, connect things, build this world out. Make this history and this world make some sense. Because listen, we talking about giant creatures showing up and tearing up the city and then somehow rebuilding that city back and just saying, oh, well, we'll be ready next time. That's insane, y'all. This is dumb. But this show seems to like really make this world feel believable.
Yeah. They are filling in the gaps, making it richer.
This is one another thing I appreciate this. No one was really asking for you to make sense out of it.
True.
It was like, we just want to see some creatures beat the each other, and we're happy with that. Cool for you to come in and say, all right, but if we say we're going to build a universe, let's do it properly and try to like actually, fill the gaps, as you say, make things make sense, no matter how ridiculous this may be. I was looking at one episode and, they had their, one episode had their aliens moment where they go in and it was like dark and gloomy and, people were trapped in some goo and stuff. And, and it's, you wonder what happened with that, man. You wonder where that's going to lead to. It's enough to, keep you engaged, wondering where this is going to go and what discovery is going to be led to with this. I'm really, it's got some problems. I'm going to tell you right now, do I think it's great? No, I don't. I think the pacing is kind of slow in some parts. I think these episodes probably could be shorter. If they made them a little bit shorter, it would really get to the point a lot quicker. Still good though, I think. I think it's I think they could, as this, and keep in mind, I haven't seen, the episodes you've seen, and this is what, 10 episodes? So maybe by the 10th episode, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, it all came together and this is amazing. I would say just a slight slow start. But it looks like it could pick up. And right now, just based on what I've seen, I'd give it a matinee. Yeah, man, and I would just say this, the biggest compliment that you can give a show that does something like this, do I want to come back and see what happens? I'm very interested to see where this goes.
Yeah. No, the first 3 episodes, I felt that too. I was like, wow, this is so much better than I expected. And I'm excited to watch the next one and the next one and the next one. And there was a gap between episodes 4 and 5. And in between that gap, I watched The Fall of the House of Usher. And that's when I was like, oh shit, this is amazing TV right here. So come back to episodes 4 and 5, kind of put me in perspective of like, this is good, but it's not great. Matter of fact, episode 5 I thought was maybe the weakest episode, but this one I'm hooked into. I'm like, I'm very interested in seeing where this ends up, and I felt like it was a matinee myself. Yeah,
I will say this, man. If you were watching the movies and you really like at the end of Godzilla versus King Kong, if you were interested in how this world is going to expand or what they're going to do with it, and you weren't there just to see the creatures beat each other up, then this is definitely worth the watch. I think it's
so much more than what they could have done with this.
And I think they have a very good idea with the Monarch organization, man. You almost need something like that to explain what's happening here. It ain't like the Dark World. They tried to have the social, the goddamn club of monsters is what it is.
Monster Club.
Monster Club, and they set that shit up and had nothing. Dr. Jekyll was running shit. And boy, you can still find videos of the Dark World from the website where they explaining this shit. Oh, what was that organization called that they had?
Oh, I forget. Jeez.
It was called Monstar or something like that. We're an organization that keeps track of monsters around the world, keep the order, keep the peace. And it's like, that shit went nowhere.
I know. Well, I just keep thinking about the big Vanity Fair article they had with photo shoots and all that.
That's an example of them trying to build a universe and having nothing. So look at this. It's like, shit, compared to what y'all did, this is better than sex. I don't do it at all. It's a damn shame when you got to tell the universe to go look at Godzilla and learn what to do.
I know. I mean, here they have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. So check it out, y'all.